The apocalypse you imagine is massive explosions and screams, but a real collapse is more like a system glitch. That can never be fixed. 1 second, you're scrolling through your phone. The next second, every social contract becomes a piece of scrap paper. People will bungle and fight like wild animals over the last bottle of mineral water. At this moment, the first people to die are often the chefs who were the best prepared. That stove you're looking at right now will soon become a pile of scrap metal. Imagine when you turn on the faucet, only a piercing hiss of air comes out. When every supermarket is left with nothing but shattered glass and empty shelves, the rice and pasta you're clutching in your hands are actually just bags of useless stones. Because in the face of a true collapse, you won't even have the chance to start a fire to cook. Welcome to the real world. There are no movie saviors here, only hungry people and clear-headed people. What we're talking about today is the thing that will keep you alive in the dark. 12 types of life-saving rations that require no cooking. Listen, in a real crisis, cooking is a suicidal act. If you start a fire, the light is a living target. If you cook, the smoke is a distress signal, but it won't attract a rescue team. It will attract ravenous predators. The smell will expose your location. The sound will bring uninvited guests. While you're still standing at the stove waiting for water to boil, you've already turned yourself into the easiest target to hunt. So what we need is a completely opposite logic. A feeding plan that needs no light, needs no fire, and doesn't even need skill. This is the survivor's cold food list. Whether you are in a freezing basement or in the backseat of a getaway car, these things will allow you to move in total silence. Keep your mind sharp and keep your hands steady, because the first law of survival is never about filling your belly. It's about maintaining your functionality. Stop staring at those instant meals that need boiling water. There is no electricity. There is no natural gas. There is no clean, filtered water. Those things are just a pile of expensive plastic trash. You must build your cold food reserve right now. Do not rely on any infrastructure. Do not rely on any social supply. What you need to build is an energy loop that, even when the world is destroyed, still allows you to run, allows you to fight, and allows you to stay alive. Now, check your cabinets with me. See how many things in there are true burdens, and how many can actually save your life. The first, food, peanut butter. Listen, don't buy the organic stuff in fancy glass jars. Don't buy the expensive brands where the oil separates over time. Go to the supermarket and buy the cheapest, the largest tub, the one in plastic packaging. In a doomsday environment, peanut butter is not a condiment. It is the perfect survival paste. 1 spoonful is a full charge of fat, protein, and calories. The energy it gives you is extremely stable. It won't make your blood sugar spike and crash like sugary drinks. The most critical part is it doesn't need refrigeration. It's not afraid of a bumpy ride. It doesn't even need you to use fire to heat it up. Even if you are hiding in a pitch black stairwell, as long as you have a spoon or even just your fingers, you can complete a total body recharge. And peanut butter has a hidden advantage. When you are under extreme stress and have absolutely no appetite, its neutral flavor is the only thing you'll be able to swallow. Stock at least 4 jars per person. Remember to rotate them once a year. This is your most basic life support. The second, pouched tuna or salmon. Remember, I am emphasizing pouched, not traditional cans. Why? Because in extreme cold, your hands will tremble uncontrollably. In those moments, finding a can opener is a total nightmare. If the opener breaks, you'll be staring at a room full of metal cans, just waiting to die. Pouched food can be eaten as soon as it's torn open. It is pure, high-quality protein. During a long-term escape, your body will frantically consume muscle due to stress. If you don't have protein supplements, you will find yourself running slower and slower, and your brain becoming duller. Tuna gives you the most direct physical repair. If you have the extra cash, buy the kits that come with crackers. That crunching sensation can greatly soothe your nerves on the brink of collapse. Because in the ruins, eating like a human being is the best psychiatrist. Prepare at least 20 pouches. This is the key to maintaining your strength. The third, canned beans. You must choose the kind with a pull tab that can be opened without extra tools. Beans, though they sound boring, are the all-rounders of the survival world. They have fiber, they have calories, and they have protein. The most important point that many people overlook is fiber. If you eat only energy bars and jerky for several days, your digestive system will go on a total strike. In a post-apocalyptic world with no medical care, the pain and weakness caused by constipation can truly make you lose your ability to move. Beans keep your intestinal tract functioning, preventing your body system from collapsing from the inside. Buy 30 cans and leave them there. Don't complain about the weight. They are your body's scavengers. The fourth, shelf-stable tortillas. Stop hoarding ordinary bread. Bread will grow mold in 2 or 3 days. It turns hard in 4 or 5, and eventually crumbles into a pile of debris. Tortillas are different. They are extremely tough, and their shelf life is amazing. They can wrap up anything that's hard to swallow and turn it into a decent meal. You can roll up that tuna we just talked about, or spread peanut butter on it. This feeling of a meal is the spiritual pillar that prevents you from falling into despair. In a collapsing world, the one who can stay rational is the one who survives to the end. Stock at least 6 large packs. They don't take up space, but they save lives. The fifth, protein bars and granola bars. These are not your staple food. They are your emergency throttle. When you feel your brain starting to get foggy, when you feel your hands losing control, when you want to risk rushing out because of extreme hunger, shove an energy bar into your mouth. It can instantly pull up your blood sugar, allowing you to make the right decision at a critical moment. Survival is essentially a competition of decision making. One wrong judgment can lead to eternal damnation. So treat energy bars like bullets. Every single one must be used at the critical moment. Buy the kind with over 200 calories per bar. Prepare at least 40 and keep them in the bag you carry with you. The sixth, trail mix and salted nuts. These aren't just snacks. These are the source of electrolytes for your body. When you are running for your life, you will sweat a lot. You will lose sodium and potassium. If you only drink water, your brain will swell. You will become dizzy, weak, and even have hallucinations. The salt in salted nuts maintains your body's chemical balance, allowing you to avoid collapsing from dehydration during a long journey. The oil in nuts is the highest calorie fuel per unit of weight known to man. 5 pounds of nuts can support an adult walking a very long distance. Remember, buy the ones with salt. Those are the electrolytes that maintain your life. The seventh, fruit cups or canned fruit. Don't talk to me about vitamins in the apocalypse. The only meaning of this stuff is wet sweetness. When long-term stress makes your mouth taste bitter. When you can't swallow dry, hard food because of fear. A bite of sweet, juicy fruit can instantly wake up your will to survive. It provides hydration. It provides quick energy. Most importantly, it makes you feel like you're still a living human being. Choose the ones soaked in fruit juice rather than heavy syrup. 20 cup packs. This is your final psychological line of defense. The eighth, jerky. This is protein wearing armor. It is lightweight. It is chewy. It can be replenished at any time while you are on the move. You don't need to stop. You don't need to find a shelter. Eating while running is the purpose of jerky. But be careful. Jerky is very salty. It will consume your precious fresh water reserves. So don't use it as your only food. Treat it as a replenishment tool under emergency mobile conditions. Start with 20 packs and keep them in the outermost pocket of your jacket. The ninth, sturdy crackers. Not the kind of soda crackers that crumble when squeezed, but dense, compressed crackers or hardtack. Crackers are the foundation of all wet and cold foods. They can neutralize the nauseating smell of canned goods. They can give you a sense of satiety. This feeling is very important. With something in your stomach, your heart won't panic. It doesn't need any preparation. It doesn't need any heat. As long as you still have teeth, you can get energy. Prepare 10 boxes and put them at the bottom of your storage bin as backup supplies. The 10th, ready-to-eat canned soup. Look closely at the instructions. You must buy the kind that doesn't require extra water and can be drunk as soon as it's torn or pulled open. Soup is a combination of energy and moisture. When water sources become uncertain, a can of soup might be your only way to hydrate. You might ask, does cold soup taste taste good? The answer is, of course, no. But in the face of life and death, whether it tastes good or not is the least important thing. Whether it keeps you breathing is the only standard. 15 cans. This is your final backup water source. The 11th, instant oatmeal that can be cold soaked. Many people think oats must be boiled with hot water. That is the practice of peaceful times. In the apocalypse, you only need a little bottled water. Pour the oats in, wait for 20 minutes, and it will turn into a mushy but extremely filling energy sludge. It's rich in fiber, allowing you to not feel hungry for a long time. This lasting endurance is your confidence to escape the chaos zone. 20 small bags. They don't weigh much, but they are very practical. The 12th, professional emergency rations, or MRS. This is your top-level material, your final hole card. These things are expensive, and the taste is very strange, but they are specifically designed for extreme environments. They are fully cooked. They are extremely shelf-stable. They can provide high energy instantly in any environment. This is what you save for the most desperate day. When you are trapped in a small space, when you cannot move, when you need absolute stealth, open one pack. It can keep you going for another 24 hours. Prepare 10 servings and don't touch them unless absolutely necessary. Now, you have the list, but having the stuff is not enough. You also need a system, because reserves without structure will quickly turn into panic-driven waste. You will eat a week's worth of supplies because of stress. You will consume life-saving rations because of boredom. So, you must divide your food into 3 layers. The first layer is the grab-and-go layer. Inside are energy bars, nuts, jerky, peanut butter. These things must be packed into a backpack and taken away in 3 minutes. The second layer is the shelter layer, which is the beans, cans, crackers, fruit cups. These are your main force once you have stabilized your position. The third layer is the movement layer, tortillas, ready-to-eat meal packs. These are your travel expenses when looking for a new home. Only in this way can you maintain your functionality in any situation and avoid becoming a refugee who only knows how to scream. Many people will ask, if I store so much food, is everything all right? I'm telling you, if you ignore water, all the food you store is just a burial object for your future. Without water, the dry food you eat will suck the last bit of moisture out of your body. You will die faster. Each person needs at least 1 gallon of water per day. 2 weeks is the start. 1 month is the safety line. If your storage room has only food and no water, it's not called a shelter. It's called a museum. You're just storing supplies for someone else. Actually, the most terrifying thing about the apocalypse is not the lack of material things, but the collapse of the human heart. When you see your former neighbors fighting over half a cracker, when you see the familiar world become a stranger overnight, that sense of fear will kill you faster than hunger. But if you have these reserves in hand, you have an anchor in your heart. You don't need to queue. You don't need to loot. You don't need to take risks. You can hide quietly in the shadows, watching the chaos pass, watching the order be rebuilt. At this time, you are not a victim. You are an observer, a survivor. This psychological advantage is your greatest asset in a chaotic world. Some people will laugh at you, saying you're worrying about nothing, saying World War III is too far away. But please remember, in this world, one more point of preparation is one less point of danger. When that day truly arrives, when everyone falls into panic, you will thank your clear-headed self of today. You will understand that these so-called nonsense are actually the most precious life-saving scriptures. Because in this fragile system, everyone is only 5 minutes away from a total breakdown. And those 5 minutes decide whether you are the person who survives or the person who becomes historical ash. Survival is never a kind of luck. It is a choice you are making at this very moment. Now, look at your cabinet. If disaster strikes in the next second, can you do as I just said? Stay calm, stay functional, and stay alive. If you find this content helpful, if you also want to find a bit of certainty in this uncertain era, then please be sure to print this knowledge in your brain. When you go to the supermarket, grab 2 more jars of peanut butter. Grab a few more bags of jerky. It doesn't cost much money, but it buys an insurance policy that allows you to see the light, even when the darkness descends. I want to know, in your survival list, Is there anything else you feel you absolutely cannot lose? Or do you think in that environment, is there something more important than food? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's perfect this survival code together. After all, with one more clear-headed person, the world has one more bit of hope. I am your survival guide. If you want to know how to use these supplies on the first night after a successful evacuation to build the safest temporary camp, then follow me. The next content will allow you to live with more dignity than anyone else. In the ruins. Don't wait for the siren. Act now. I hope you never need to use these, but if you do, please be sure to stay alive. In this era full of variables, every one of us is a small boat sailing on the sea. When the storm comes, we cannot decide, but we must prepare the anchor, prepare the sail, prepare the rations that allow us to survive the longest night. Survival is not a passive waiting, but an active confrontation. It is using your reason to confront unknown madness. It is using your preparation to confront sudden upheaval. When you truly possess this cold food system, you will find that your fear of the future has disappeared, replaced by a sense of control over life. This feeling is your strongest armor in this world. So, do not hesitate. Do not wait and see. Life is only once. Don't hand it over to luck. Hand it to yourself. Hand it to these life-saving rations in your hands. See you in the safety zone. See you next time